My name is Dan Caffrey. I'm a science and technology teacher in Traralgon, and I belong to the Latrobe Valley Sustainability Group. I think there's a growing awareness with the general population that things do have to change. We don't see a future for coal. We've got to talk transition to a non-coal era. Our focus has to be on transition into something that is going to maintain the skills in the area, because the metal trades and electrical trades are very highly skilled people. We really don't want to see that skill base go out of the valley. The state government should be doing all they can to attract the types of industries which will provide a skilled workforce which is already here, good opportunities. We'd like to actually start building wind turbines here and the heliostats for the solar thermal power stations here in the valley, rather than import them from overseas.
My name's Peter Christoph. I teach climate change, politics and policy at the University of Melbourne. In Victoria at the moment we are heavily reliant on fossil fuels. 95% of our power comes from fossil fuels, and the renewables that we use, the sources available to us like solar and wind and geothermal, have barely been tapped. Putting a price on carbon basically means that we start paying for or registering the long-term impacts of using a fuel which is globally destructive. It makes carbon-based fuels more expensive and renewable fuels and renewable energy sources more competitive. So it ends up balancing out the market. We've seen in Germany, we've seen in China and elsewhere, the renewable energy sector produces significant additional employment. We've got huge opportunities for developing renewable energy in Victoria, and so it's an economic and clean way of creating an alternative future.
My name's Maren Redenbach and I'm a community climate campaigner. I've been involved in the Switch Off Hazelwood campaign for the last 2 years. It's a campaign calling on the state government to close Hazelwood Power Station, which is one of Victoria and the developed world's most highly emitting power stations. We've been really pleased with the community response to the campaign. Nearly everyone that we speak to has heard of Hazelwood before and is aware of the issues associated with the power station. The evidence shows that if we're not reducing global emissions by 2015, there's a risk that we'll cross dangerous tipping points, and that could lead to runaway climate change. The first thing that we'd like to see from the state government is closing Hazelwood Power Station. The second thing that's really important at the moment is that the government is actually looking at building another coal-fired power station. And at a time when we know how polluting and dangerous coal-fired power stations are, that's just unacceptable. We're calling on the state government to commit to no further coal-fired power stations in Victoria.
The Greens know that Victoria can lead the country in making the transition to a zero-emissions economy. In order to do this, the state government must be a central player by capping emissions from coal-fired power. As part of the Greens plan, we'll create new jobs for energy industry workers, adopt Professor Garneau's carbon tax, and replace Hazelwood Power Station by cutting energy use and rapidly boosting renewables. To find out more, please visit vic.greens.org.au.